This week's Torah portion, we read the parsha of Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah, the matriarch Sarah. And the Torah explains the years of her life, that she lived 127 years. However, when the Torah explains the years of her life, it says in a very unusual way. It says she lived 100 years, she lived 20 years, she lived 7 years, and not the regular way of just mentioning 127. So the commentaries ask, why would the Torah go out of its way to explain her life in such unusual fashion? And the answer given is that throughout her entire life, she was always looking ahead and looking back as well. When she was 7, she was thinking about what she'd become when she's 20. When she was 20, she was thinking about what would I be when I'm 100. And also vice versa. When she was 20, she'd ask herself, all these great things I did as a young girl, I could continue. And when she was 100, she would also look back in her earlier years and think about things that she had done in her life and think about ways to make them better. And the lesson is that in life, we could always look ahead, we could always look back, and we could always look at the present. Look at where we are now, what could we accomplish now. Look at our past, what have we done in the past, and also look in the future to see what can we do in the future. When a person has this mentality of living in the present, but also remembering the past and thinking about the future, that's how they live life to its fullest. We'll now continue with the singing of Lechadodi, the song we sing Friday night, written by the great Rabbi of Shlomo Alkabetz in the late 1400s. Lechadodi lekras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela lechadodi lekras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad Ishmiyahanu kel hamyuchad Hashem echad Ushmaho yachad L'shemo seferetz v'lesilah Chadodi l'kras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela L'kras Shabbos l'chuven Ki mekor haberacha meirosh mikedem nesucha Sov maaseh b'machshavot chila lechadodi lekras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela mikdash melech Ir melucha kumitzi mitoch ha'afecha Rav lach shevet b'yemekabacha V'hu yachamol alayichem la'lechadodi lekras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela Hisnari me'afar kumi Livshi bigdei sefartei chami Al yad ben yishai beis alachmi Karva el nafshi giyahala lechadodi lekras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela Hisahoreri Ki v'horechu miyori Uri, shir daberi, Gevod Hashem, alayich nigla. Lechadodi lekras kala, Pnei Shabbos nekabela, V'hayu l'mshisa, shahosayich, V'rachaku kameh v'halayich, Yosis alayich elokayich, Kim sozcha sanal kala lechadodi lekras kala. Pnei Shabbos nekabela yamin usmal tehefrotzi v'yes Hashem daritzi Al yad ben yishai beis alachmi Karva el nafshi giyala lecha Dodi lekras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela Bawi b'shalom Atares ba'ala gamberino v'tzahala tochem uneyam segula ba'wikala lechododi lekras kala Oneg Shabbat nekabela. Tomorrow in synagogues across the world, we'll be blessing the new month, the new moon, the month of Kislev. Kislev is a holiday, the month where the holiday of Hanukkah comes in, the festival of lights. So I want to spend the next few weeks discussing a little bit different elements of the miracles and what we celebrate. So first is a little historical background. It was during the time of the Second Temple, and the Jewish people were living peacefully in Jerusalem, yet the Greek forces were coming into Jerusalem, and they were not necessarily fighting with the Jewish people, but they started influencing them, started banning certain Jewish rituals and mitzvot that they could no longer do. They took away Brit Milah. They said you can't perform Brit Milah. They took away Shabbat, the observance of Shabbat. And they were very strong in these convictions, and their influence was also very strong as well, to a point where many of the Jewish people were being so influenced by the surroundings that they stopped serving God altogether. And it was that point in time when the future of Judaism was in balance, because if no one's going to observe the laws of Judaism, there'll be nothing left. And a young group of people, a group of priests who would serve in the temple at that time, and they noticed how the temple service was getting worse and worse to a point where they were not even serving in the temple at all. And every day we pray that there should be a third temple. Imagine having a temple but not using it. So the small group got together and they said, we're going to fight the Greeks, try to fight them to push them out of our land, out of Jerusalem. And we might lose because we're certainly outnumbered. But if we don't fight for the future right now, then who will? And they fought, and miraculously they won. And it was a great miracle by God. And that's one of the things we celebrate in Hanukkah, is the fight for the future for religion and for observance and connection to God, because if it's not going to be us who's going to serve God, who will it be? And that's one of the messages of Hanukkah, the light, the festival of light, to bring light to the world, the light of religion to the world. And in the next few weeks, we'll discuss a little bit more of the holiday as it gets closer. We're now finished with the singing of Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'yeis Nasa B'Chefso Kol Azai Mehelech Shemo Nikra V'Yacharei Kechlos HaKol Levahado Yimloch Nora V'Haya V'Hoveh V'Yiyeh B'Sifara V'Hu Echad V'Yein Sheni Hamshilo Lehachvira V'li Reishis V'li Sachlis V'lo Ha'od V'Hamizra V'hu Keli V'Chai Goali V'Tur Chevli V'Yeis Nasa V'hu Nisi Umanosli Minas Kosi B'Yom Ekra B'Yahado Avkid Ruchi V'Yeis Ishan V'Yahira V'Yim Ruchi Gev'Yasi Ado Shem Li V'Lo V'Ira. Have a happy and healthy week, a great weekend, a great Shabbat. We'll see everybody next week.